Hey everyone, this is Sergey and Vadim from Revs.in. We are back this week with another role play. We're going to be talking about how to tell your boss that you're leaving the company, you're quitting your job.
And so I'm going to be the employee that's going to Sergey, my boss, and he's not going to take it too well. So let's see how this goes. Hey Sergey, thanks for taking the meeting with me. I actually wanted you to be one of the first people to know that I just received an offer from another firm, and I'm planning on taking it. But over the last few years, I learned a ton at this company, and actually from you personally, it was a great learning experience in terms of learning how to manage people too. So thank you for that.
Okay, Vadim. Well, you know how bad timing this is. You're completely letting the whole team down right now.
So my plan was to stay on for the next 2 weeks, help train some of the new staff, and just help with the transition in general.
We need you here for at least another 2 months. This is the busy quarter that you decided to leave during.
Well, I'm confident you guys can find a replacement, but you know what? If it helps, I can help with the interview process as well and manage that too over the next couple of weeks.
Okay, well, a couple weeks is not nearly enough, but at least tell me what company you're going to. I mean, how long have you been thinking about this?
Well, actually, I haven't taken the offer yet, so I can't say. Sorry.
Well, you did sign a non-compete when you joined this company, and if you're going to a competitor, I need to know about that because you would be breaking the law. It's a breach of contract.
Well, I actually know that I can keep this information confidential, but don't worry, I read through the agreement and I'm not in breach of it by any means.
I think you're well aware that I know everybody in the industry, and I'm going to find out who you're going to anyway, and I'm going to tell everyone how horrible of an employee you are, completely letting down the entire team at a time of need.
I'm actually really surprised to hear that, sir, because you promoted me over the last year, and also I've only received positive feedback from the team about my work. But to be honest, I've read through the agreement, and you have the option of letting me go at any time, and I in turn can also leave at any time as well because of it's an at-will state. So my decision is final at this point. If you don't mind, please let me know before the end of the day if you'd like me to stay on for the next 2 weeks to help with the transition.
All right, so that obviously probably was not what Vadim expected going into this meeting. The boss did not react in a very professional manner, but let's talk about a couple of things that you made sure to do during that exercise.
Yeah, so first of all, guys and gals, when you're home, you might want to practice. This is the whole point of role playing, is to know what you're going to say ahead of time and do your research. In this case, when I approached my boss, and I know that he might be someone that would take things this way, I let him know right away how much I appreciated their work with me over the last few years. So that's important to start the conversation off on that foot too.
Another thing that happened is the boss, somewhat unexpectedly, told Vadim that he might be breaching contract, and he actually demanded to know what company he's going to.
So not only did I start off with offering to stay on for a couple of weeks, which is really what you should be doing in most situations to not burn any bridges, but I also did my homework ahead of time. Something you guys should know is if somebody asks you where you're going next, you do not have to tell them. That's not something they can force out of you. Now, of course, if it's a positive relationship and you're leaving on good terms, sure, why not? You can tell them where you're going and maybe even get a reference out of it. But in this case, you do not have to tell them.
Vadim also made sure to do his homework ahead of time and find out that this is an at-will state. Most states, employment is at will, and you can leave whenever you want, and your employer can let you go whenever you want. And that's something that might be important to mention during that meeting when your boss is a little bit more hostile than you might have expected. Hopefully you guys found this helpful, and if you had some different experiences in your jobs when you were trying to leave your jobs, or you're thinking about this right now and you want some additional advice, please let us know in the comments.
And just in general, these situations can get emotional. You're leaving the company. You may have had a bunch of relationships there. So it's just important to stay cool, calm, and collected, and basically come in armed with as much information as possible. But in the end of the day, if you're dealing with a negative person, just don't take their threats too seriously, because in the end of the day, typically, they are only threats, and they don't end up following through with them. And there's really nothing you can do to change the person except for staying cool and collected throughout the whole process. Thanks a lot.
See you next week.